zones performance. Having said so, are there any concerns? Are there any problems related to SEZs? Point number one, please let me know. If you are focused on the exports, will pandemic affect you? Let me know. Right? SEZs, if you're focused on exports, will pandemic hit you? Of course, yes. Right? So, because of the pandemic, our exports from SEZs have taken a hit. Point number two, when government promoted SEZ model, the whole argument was we want to promote manufacturing. We want to promote manufacturing. But in case of India, as per an audit that was conducted by CAG, more than 67% of units in India, I repeat, more than 67% of units in the SEZ are information technology / information technology enabled services, which means rather than promoting manufacturing, SEZ has actually promoted more and more of service sector units. Third one, land acquisition is a problem in India. Land acquisition is a problem, right? It is very difficult to acquire land, huge amount of land for the promotion of SEZ model. Fourth one, land has been acquired, but over a period of time, because of various issues, let's say pandemic, not getting credit from institutions, or because of a higher rate of interest on the loans, and now because of some of the partners, right, not interested in SEZ anymore, because of various reasons, land has been acquired, approvals they have taken, but they are not utilizing the space now. They're not utilizing the land now. It has got stuck up like this only. And in many of the cases, dispute in the land will also delay the implementation of the project. Earlier, the subsidies were given by the government of India. SEIS subsidy and MEIS. Under the MEIS and SEIS, government used to provide a lot of subsidies for the SEZs. Now, both MEIS as well as SEIS have been suspended, which has also affected the subsidy flow to the SEZ units. And finally, we do not have a complementary infrastructure. What do you mean by complementary infrastructure? Right? For example, we do not have sufficient, right? Let's say port infrastructure in India. Sufficient rather than sufficient, we can say efficient. We'll understand that tomorrow, don't worry. We do not have a efficient logistics sector in India. We do not have a efficient road infrastructure in India. We'll discuss what is the problem with the infrastructure tomorrow. Please do not worry about it. So complementary infrastructure such as roadways, railways, export infrastructure, waterways infrastructure is not available in India. So complementary infrastructure is also problem right, related to SEZs. Okay. Next, what is the reform then? What is the way forward? There was a committee which was set up by Government of India, Baba Kalyani Committee, right? Around 16 and 17, 26 and 17, the government set up the committee, report has been provided, but government so far has not implemented any of these reforms. Nothing has been done as of now by Government of India. Just for sake of information, go through the recommendation. Let me go one by one. First one, we will have to restructure the model of SEZ. Change the model of SEZ. Promotion of exports from India. I repeat, right now SEZs are focused on promotion of exports from India. Rather than this, we should focus on promoting investment. We should focus on promoting employment generation. That is the reason. Have a look at the change in the policies now. Point number one, the policy should be shifted. Rather than calling them as SEZ, call them as employment economic enclaves. Rename the policy, change the focus of the policy. How can we do that? Right now, under SEZ model, we are giving incentives based on exports that they have done. For example, MEIS, SEIS, everything is focused on export. Rather than that, why don't we provide incentives on investment? Why don't we provide incentives for job generation? Now, please think of it and also let me know. If you provide incentives for employment generation, Are you going to violate any of the principles of WTO? Think of it. If you're going to provide incentives for investment, if you're going to provide incentives for employment, are you going to violate any of the principles, any of the laws under WTO? Absolutely no. Right? Are Baba, amber box. How? What are you reading? I don't know, Baba. Amber box is related to manufacturing. Tell me. Amber box is related to manufacturing. That's a problem. You don't read correctly. Amber box is related to agriculture. And I'm talking about manufacturing of the bottle and service sector. I don't know. Okay. So read carefully. You people don't read it carefully. Okay. So first one, change the policy. Link your incentives to investment. Link your investment to employment. Sunset provision has to be looked into. What is a sunset provision? Government said, I will give you tax exemption. For example, 5 years, I will give you 100% tax exemption. For next 5 years, I will give you 50% tax exemption. But these kind of these kind of exemptions are available only for 15 years. Only for 15 years. Means we announced the policy in 2005, 2020 should be over. So argument is, right, a sunset provision is there for the tax exemptions. Do not implement the sunset provision. Do not implement it. Provide more tax benefits. Attract more and more investment into these enclaves. Promote other types of services as well. Most of the, right, point number one, we have found that rather than having most manufacturing under SEZ, more than 67% are service sector units. For example, IT and ITES. These are concentrated in the SEZ. Rather than promoting only these IT and ITES, why don't we provide or why don't we promote other types of services as well? Promote other types of services. For example, financial services, right? Insurance services, etc. So other types of services are there. Promote them. Formulate a separate policy for service sector SEZ as well as a manufacturing SEZ. Only one policy is there right now. Have a separate policy for both of them. Should have a framework. You should have a framework to promote ease of doing business within SEZ. And next, increase the competitiveness by promoting, right, road infrastructure, railway infrastructure, port infrastructure, so that exports can be done much more easily. Right, so these are some of the recommendations of Baba Kalyani committee. Right, so that is related to concept of SEZ. Please be very, very careful. Right, please be very, very careful. Okay, so again I'm saying committee recommendations are there. So far, Government of India has not implemented any one of them. They have not implemented any one of them. Okay. Now next, NIMZ. Now before I tell you NIMZ, it's a very, very small concept. Not a very large, very small concept. Why very small concept? NIMZ is just a proposal. All of you okay with this? I'll repeat the statement. NIMZ is just a proposal. There is no NIMZ which is operating in India today. More than 20 NIMZs have been proposed, have been approved by the government. But so far, none of the NIMZs are operating. So if you ask me, sir, how much are they exporting? There is no answer. Sir, how much investment? No answer. How much jobs? Absolutely no answer, because none of them are operational so far. And as far as government is concerned, the NIMZ model, it's a very old model. In fact, please remember, concept of NIMZ, National Investment and Manufacturing Zone, was actually proposed under National Manufacturing Policy 2011. I'll read the long form again. National Manufacturing Policy 2011. Under National Manufacturing Policy of 2011, government then proposed the idea for NIMZ. So despite it being more than 10-year-old model, none of the NIMZs are operating in India. These are just proposals as of now. So point number one, NIMZs will be developed as industrial towns. All of you have heard of industrial towns. For example, Jamshedpur. Tell me, Jamshedpur, can I say this is the best primary example of industrial towns in India? So argument is these NIMZs will be developed as industrial towns. And because it's an industrial town, to operate these industrial towns, a special purpose vehicle will be set up. Right? What is a special purpose vehicle? An authority. Very simple. One authority will be set up to look into the operations of the industrial town. For example, let me know. All of you heard of LED project in India? LED, National LED Program. Have you heard of this or not? If you have not heard of it, please look at your LED bulbs. They will say these are basically promoted under the initiative of National LED Program. Now, to promote National LED Program, government set up one authority by the name of Energy Efficiency Services Limited. ESL. Energy Efficiency Services Limited. EESL. Right? Can I give you one more example of special purpose vehicle? All of you heard of bullet train project? Yes or no? Anybody in the classroom who says, sir, what is bullet train? I've never heard of it. Bullet train project, there is a special authority set up by the government to implement bullet train project. The name of the authority is National High Speed Railway Corporation Limited. National High Speed Rail Corporation Limited. So is the logic okay? Special purpose vehicle means an authority. It is an authority which has been set up for achieving specific objective. So in order to operate this industrial town, right, government will be setting up a special purpose vehicle. One authority will be set up. Now, what is this industrial town? It will have multiple manufacturing units. It might have multiple SEZs. It can have units which are focused only on the exports, export-oriented units, etc., etc. So that is basically a model of NIMZ. Now, based on this, please do let me know. Can I say, at least on this point, can I say NIMZ will be larger in size compared to SEZs? Is the logic okay? I'll repeat the statement again. Can I say NIMZ will be larger in size compared to SEZs? Because SEZ is focused on very small land acquisition, up to 10 hectares, up to 1000 hectares, up to 500 hectares, etc. Whereas in case of NIMZ, we are targeting 5,000 hectares, 6,000 hectares, very, very large acquisition of the land. Right? NIMZ is a much, much bigger model compared to SEZ model. Okay? Under NIMZ, the proposal is that at least 30% of the land that we have acquired, we will use it for promotion of manufacturing. At least 30% will use it to promote manufacturing. If the state government wants to promote, they can have a MSME policy to promote MSME within NIMZ. State governments can promote MSMEs within the NIMZ model. NIMZ will also focus on clean energy and technological efficiency. For example, what about using renewable energy? What about harnessing solar energy, converting sunlight into electricity? Can I call this as focus on clean energy usage? So under NIMZ, all of this will be done. And finally, within NIMZ, we will also have skill development facilities so that people who are working, they will have option of getting better skill set and getting absorbed in a better industry or a higher package they can get. Right? Absorption will become much easier for them when skill development facilities are present. Right? So these are basically the features of NIMZ. I cannot tell you how much profits they have generated. I cannot tell you how many jobs they have generated because none of the NIMZs are operating in India as of today. Right? Any other doubt? Any question that you people have? Please do let me know. So first industry come, then town, or town then industry. My dear, whenever you talk about industrial townships, so first industries are located. All of you okay with this? Whenever you talk about an industrial town, first industries will be located, and because industries are located, right, we will have many other let's say infrastructure. For example, if you look at Jamshedpur, first a steel plant was located, steel plant was set up. Now because steel plant is set up, right, in the vicinity of the steel plant you will see housing sector being developed, right, let's say restaurants being developed, you will see schools being developed, right, you will see other type of infrastructure as well. That is basically the idea of a industrial township. So please explain example one in the past slide of FDI. My dear, there are so many slides of FDI. Which one? Which point? I don't know which point are you talking about. Do we need to mug up NIMZ? I don't think so, because this is a very, very old model. Very, very old model. We do not have any functional NIMZ, but at least try to remember the concepts. At least try to remember the concept. Okay. Okay. Done. So these are the features of NIMZ. Again, I'm talking about NIMZ. Some of you are asking questions about fiscal policy. What is the connection? I'm talking about NIMZ. If you have a doubt about NIMZ, you have a doubt about FDI, you have a doubt about, right? Ask that, right? You are talking about fiscal policy. Should I stop discussing industrial policies and start discussing fiscal policy now? How? NIMZ is not implemented because of financing issues, because of land acquisition issues. Very difficult to acquire land in India. Very, very difficult to acquire so much amount of land. Okay. Deposit receipts in example 1 FDI. My dear, if a foreign company will come to India in the sense through deposit receipt, right? Foreign company will go to a custodian bank, submit their shares. This custodian bank will enter into agreement with Indian custodian bank. Indian custodian bank will issue these deposit receipts, list the deposit receipts in India. That is basically the process. Okay. In book, there are more concepts. Should we read? Okay. And generally, I'll come across two very interesting questions. Okay. One question is, sir, in books, so many things are given. Why are you not discussing? Right? Should we not read it? And second, very nice question, by the way. Sir, these terms are given in the syllabus, but you are not teaching. For example, many students will start pointing out, sir, you have not discussed land reforms. Very nice question. Okay. Land reforms is mentioned in the syllabus and not discussed. Why? That will be discussed by one more faculty. But equally important, please look at the syllabus and tell me, is RBI mentioned in the syllabus? Those who are yet to see the syllabus. Is banking sector mentioned in the syllabus? If you look at it very carefully in GS paper 3, no, it is not mentioned. So my counter argument to some of the students will be, when you ask me, why are you not discussing this? Why don't you ask me, why are you discussing banking? Because it is not mentioned in the syllabus. Let me see. Anybody in the classroom who will say, why do you discuss banking? Because it is not mentioned in the syllabus. Nobody will ask that. But on the contrary, everybody will ask, why not this? Why not that? Why not this? Again, it's not that those topics are not important. Land reforms will be covered by faculty who is going to handle post-independence India. And there were two students who were asking me, sir, why do you not discuss cropping pattern? Why did you not discuss soil types? My dear, soil types, cropping pattern, etc. will be handled by geography faculty. I'm not the right faculty to discuss what is black soil, what is a literate soil, what is a red soil, how much magnesium is there, how much iron is there, what is parts per million. I'm not the right person. Right? Geography faculty will handle it. Don't worry. Don't worry. And regarding books, should we read the complete book? Not needed. Not at all needed. And lot of concepts that we are discussing in the classroom, these will not be present in the book. That is equally true. So my argument from the first class has been the same thing. Do not read the book from the first point to the last point. Not at all needed for UPSC. Right? Focus on the concepts which we are covering in the classroom. If something comes in the current affairs, focus on that. Okay? Done. So these are certain points I wanted to discuss. Let me start with questions. Let me discuss questions now. Okay, in agriculture sector, questions were left out, correct? Okay, in agriculture, the descriptive questions were left out, or did I cover descriptive questions? Please do let me know. In agriculture sector, did I cover descriptive or yet to cover descriptive? Left. Okay, let me start. Elaborate the policy taken by the government of India to meet challenges of food processing sector. Right, I believe MCQs are done. I believe MCQs were done, descriptive or left out. Let's solve it, don't worry. Elaborate the policy taken by the government of India to meet challenges of food processing sector. How do you address this kind of a question? Three very important parts. Start with introduction, go to the main body, then come to conclusion. Now, what should you write in introduction? Very simple. What do you mean by food processing? Define it. Come to the main body. What are the challenges? What are the challenges associated with food processing sector? One, fragmentation of the land. Lot of the farmers are small and marginal, which means output will not be very high, productivity will be very lesser. Second one, right, we need to address the infrastructure bottlenecks, right, that is shortage of warehousing, shortage of shortage in terms of transportation infrastructure, etc. Third one, right, lot of the demand comes from urban India, but lot of population is concentrated in rural India. So we need to create certain products which are acceptable to the rural India part, right, etc. So we have discussed the challenges. In fact, there's a slide for challenges. Please have a look at it. Now, what kind of reforms have been undertaken by the government? What kind of measures government of India has taken in order to promote, right, in order to promote food processing industry? Right, let me know, did we discuss Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana earlier? Let me know, did we discuss Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, PMKSY? Under PMKSY, in fact, we have discussed two very important initiatives. One is Mega Food Park. Second one is a cold chain infrastructure scheme. Right? Mention both of them. Mention both of them. Right? Second one district, one product. I'll come to that in a minute. We also have introduced FDI in food processing. Correct? We are allowing FDI in food processing sector. What about a PLI now? It is not written, but it is an updated current affairs. You can write production linked incentive to promote food processing sector. What about PMFME? Pradhan Mantri, right? Basically, Pradhan Mantri formalization of micro enterprises, etc. So all of you okay with this? We have covered most of the schemes. One is yet to be covered. One district, one product scheme, ODOP. What is this one district, one product scheme? Right, very simple idea. All these districts in India, in all these districts, will try to identify at least one product which has export potential. I'll repeat the statement. In all the districts in India, will try to identify at least one product which has export potential. Now, because this has export potential, whatever are the problems, for example, skilled labor is not available, we'll try to provide the skilling in the district. Right? Let's say raw material availability is a problem, we'll try to promote accessibility of raw material. Technology availability is a problem, we'll try to promote accessibility to technology. International exports are very difficult for them, we will promote international exports, etc. So government of India is basically implementing lot of these reforms which will address whatever are the problems in supply chain of these products. For example, after the class is over, you can try it out. Imagine you want to purchase certain product from Rajasthan. In case of Rajasthan, toys are very famous. All of you know this. Textile products from Rajasthan are very famous. But earlier you wanted to purchase these products, you were literally had to go to Rajasthan or they used to come to here. Now what government of India has done is they have launched a portal, they have launched a website. You can try it out. Right? There is a website in the name of ODOP. Right? In the name of ODOP, there is a website. Right? Logging onto the website, you can purchase these kind of products which are right produced in only these regions. Although these are slightly costlier because transportation, right, labor availability, etc. is a problem. But government of India is promoting the idea of a one district to one product. All of you okay with this? Please do let me know. Argument is very simple, right? We will identify at least one product in all the districts in India. Sir, how they will identify? They have set up councils, right? There's a council at every district level, District Export Promotion Council. It is the duty of this DEPC along with the SCPC to identify which product has export potential. They will identify it. They will try to address whatever concerns are there regarding the production, supply, export of this product. This scheme is called as a one district, one product scheme. Okay. Right. So these are certain important points regarding the concept of food processing sector. Now, next question. What do you mean by minimum support price? How will MSP rescue the farmers from the low income trap? From the low income trap. Now, what do you mean by low income trap? Please understand this. There's a concept which has been given by Richard P. Nelson. Richard P. Nelson. What is the concept? As per Mr. Richard P. Nelson, any economy where people will have very low earnings, savings will be very low, investment will be very low, and again earnings will be very low. I'll repeat it. Please understand this. As per Mr. Richard P. Nelson, right, low level income trap, low level income equilibrium trap. What does it actually mean? Any economy where people's earnings are very low, their savings will be very low, investment will be very low, again earnings will be very low. Can I call this as a low income trap? Let me know. For example, imagine whole of India, incomes are very low. If incomes are low, what about savings? Do you think savings will be very high? Savings will be very less. And if savings are lesser, what about investment? Investment will be lesser. And if investment is lesser, what about incomes? Again, incomes will be lesser. So don't you think that's a trap? I hope you understand. Don't you think that's a trap? And don't you think in case of India, agriculture, that is farmers, are mainly stuck in this trap? Right? They have very low income. They will spend lesser. They will earn lesser. It's a trap for them. So what is the main body? Start with the introduction. Introduce the concept of MSP. Give the definition of MSP more than sufficient. Now come to the main body. In case of main body, right, discuss what are the issues of having low income trap. What are the issues of having low income trap? Sir, questions. What are the issues of having low income trap? Right, write them. Investment would be lesser, right? The savings would be lesser. The farmers, right, will keep on contributing or will keep on remaining in poverty, etc., etc. Then, right, introduce. Already you've given the definition of MSP. Now, define MSP. Give the importance of MSP. What is the importance of MSP? Right, have a look at this. MSP, can I say, irrespective of whatever the market price is? MSP, irrespective of whatever the market price is, farmers will be guaranteed with certain prices. Yes or no? Whatever is the market price. Government says MSP is 1,000 rupee, then the farmers, irrespective of market price, will get 1,000 rupee. Right? Whatever is the market price risk, farmers will not face that. It will also incentivize agriculture production. If government will provide more MSP for a particular crop, production of that will increase. Supply will also be promoted. So these are some of the points in the favor of MSP. Right. So what do you mean by MSP? We have addressed that. How MSP will rescue the farmers? How MSP will rescue the farmers from low income trap? We have addressed that also. Right. So that is basically the answer, model answer to the question. Now some of you are asking, sir, can we write limitations of MSP? My dear, if the question is 150 words or 250 words, then this itself will take most of the coverage. This itself will take the most of the coverage. So please be very careful. Third, what are the reformative steps undertaken by the government to make food grain distribution system much more effective? Right. Start with introduction. Under introduction, Government of India has introduced many reforms, such as Government of India in recent times has taken many reforms in order to promote and make the food grain distribution much more simple and effective. Now come to the main body. What reforms have been undertaken? For example, NFSA. All of you okay with NFSA? National Food Security Act. NFSA is a National Food Security Act. Second one is a targeted public distribution system, wherein we are not going to provide food grains for everyone, but we are going to target certain beneficiaries only. What about food grain ATM? Is it also not a reform? What about end-to-end computerization? One nation, one ration card, etc. Right? Even in case of procurement, buffer stocks are being procured. Right? All these are basically some of the reforms that have been undertaken by the government in order to make the food grain distribution much more efficient. Right? Having said so, there is a need for having more reforms. For example, instead of having a higher subsidy burden, and also ensuring that the beneficiaries will use the food grains correctly, can we use e-rupee voucher system? Can we reduce the beneficiary coverage from 67% to 40% as recommended by Shanta Kumar committee? Can we restructure the composition so that whatever population, because we are covering 2011 population, right? Instead of 2011 population, can we use a recent data to enhance the coverage under target public distribution system? Right? So these can be the way forward that you can recommend in order to conclude this answer. Done? Right? So these are the questions which